Getting there. And then wonderful. Thank you. All right, everybody. Hi. It's May 6th, May 8th, like going back in time. I'm Gina with the Early Learning Coalition. This is our quarterly provider meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited to get going today. We have lots of great presenters, so I appreciate you hanging in. We had a little logistics issue, but we're working it all out. So we're here in going to make this happen. Can we go to the next slide, please? We have a packed schedule today, lots of great presenters, lots of good new information. Ooh, but no slide change. Aaron? That just me? Did I freeze?
No, you're good. Let's see.
Be one of those days. I could go flawless for months and then, there'll be the one day like the whole thing just explodes. That's right. It all blows up in my face. All right, no, technology is not my friend today. There we go. All right. The food bank, Summer Bridge with the school district is going to talk. And we have someone from Melissa from Step Up for Students, which we're very excited to hear about more information. Palm Beach State College, always welcome to join us, and they'll be sharing their information. And then, of course, we have some ELC updates at the end. So I am going to pass it off to the Palm Beach County Food Bank. You are not Jamie, though.
I am Jamie.
You are Jamie. Okay. I got very confused. We're all very confused, but we're going to make it work. I have Jamie here with me in office. Had you all been decided to come in, we would have all been together, but we're all together online. So if we could go to the next slide, and I will have Jamie do her presentation. Well, there we go.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I came to the Early Learning Coalition offices this morning because that's what I had on my calendar. So it's that kind of day. Good morning. So I'm Jamie Kendall. I am the CEO for the Palm Beach County Food Bank. And we could go to the next slide. So the Palm Beach County Food Bank, our mission is very simple. Well, or not so simple, but together we nourish our neighbors and improve their lives one meal at a time. And our vision, while complex, is to alleviate hunger in Palm Beach County. We work diligently. We are a 12-year-old organization here just serving Palm Beach County, working to improve the lives of those in our community that are food insecure. Next slide. So our statistics tell us that 173,000 individuals in Palm Beach County are at risk of being food insecure. That's a 31% increase from the numbers we had just a year ago. And 51,000 of those 173,000 are children. Next slide. So staggering statistic here, and one as providers, I'm sure you all see and feel and know the families that are struggling, but 1 in 5 children will go to bed hungry tonight. And that is just something that we cannot allow, and that we at the food bank, along with a lot of other community partners, just like yourselves, are working to make sure that that statistic doesn't stay the norm. Next slide. So again, 1 in 9 people in Palm Beach County struggle to put food on the table. A very real statistic. We get phone calls daily from people that are really struggling right now, just as we all ourselves are seeing the inflationary issues of going to the store and purchasing food for ourselves and our families, and the increase with the housing costs and just life in general right now. it's really reaping havoc on a lot of people's incomes and our families, our senior citizens in the community. So again, I'll get into how we provide the services that we do. But again, just we hate to see these numbers grow. We hate to get the phone calls that we get daily, but it is real life for us right now. Next slide. So for every dollar we raise, we can provide 5 meals to the community. So that's people are like, how's that happen? Well, it happens in a lot of different ways. So our number one job is to procure food, to get food in the door. So we have a lot of food donations that come in. But then we also have to raise a lot of funds to purchase a lot of that food. But with our buying power and the offset of the donated meals, our audits, our financials show us that for every dollar we raise, we provide 5 meals for the community. Next slide. So how do we work? Well, we work by working with our community. So the Palm Beach County Food Bank has over 200 partner agencies. They include some of our food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and schools. So our biggest job is what we call our partner marketplace in food banking, and that is to procure food for those agencies that we partner with that are in a lot of ways boots on the ground, getting the food out to those in the community and those that they serve through their different programs. All of our partner agencies, the pantries, soup kitchen, shelters, they all have to be a 501c3 with the mission, with their mission being to feed those that are food insecure in our community. Next. So why do our neighbors use the food bank? We know that, again, I explained a few minutes ago, the rising need because of the inflationary issues. But one thing I want to point out is sometimes when people think of food banking and people that are in need of food assistance, we're thinking of the homeless individuals, we're thinking people that are living at shelters, we're thinking of those kinds of folks. And while, yes, they absolutely need our assistance, really more than anything, it is the ALICE population, the asset limited, income constrained, employed. So it is that working family that is just that one paycheck away from a disaster, that one flat tire away from not being able to put food on the table. And in reality, that is the most popular group of people that we work with, that we see are food insecure, and the phone calls that we get. So next. So how we work. Again, we procure food in a number of different ways. We do work with a USDA program called TFAP, which is the Emergency Food Assistance Program. We get food in from that. Right now, we are seeing a little bit of some federal cuts affecting that program and the food that we have coming through the door. So we are trying to shore up our other supply chains so that we make sure that we can rise to the occasion and meet the needs of our community. We work with our agricultural community. We love produce. We love produce. So we work with our agricultural community here in Palm Beach County, but actually across the state as well, to get excess produce in that we can then distribute. We have very large food drives. I will mention that this weekend on Saturday is the nation's largest one-day food drive, and that is the Postal Workers Food Drive. I'm leaving here to go to a press conference for that, but that's this Saturday. So I ask all of you to, fill up that bag if you got a bag in your mailbox. If not, leave a few cans out in a bag by your mailbox, and our mail carriers will pick that up. It's a very busy day on Saturday, and we get a lot of food in from that. And then we work with purchasing food. So unfortunately, the last thing a food bank wants to do, but we do end up having to purchase quite a bit of food, more now than ever. Since COVID, and that's a whole other story about the suppliers. But those are the ways that we get food in the door. And then we work again with those partner agencies who we vet, by the way. Those agencies tell us the family, who they're serving as far as the statistics of, household size, area that they live in Palm Beach County, all of those things. We ask for monthly reports so that we can roll that up and have a bigger picture for ourselves and the community of those areas that are really in need. So that we know that those food safety is very important. We know all of our partner agencies handle the food correctly. They have to go through food safety training with us. And then we have other, community partners that we work with to make sure that the food gets out to those that are in need. So the end is the client sitting at home, having dinner on the table for themselves, their families, and their children. So next. So last year we distributed 11.2 million meals. So in food banking, we're all about pounds in, pounds out. That's how we judge the amount of food that we are getting into the community and the number of people that we're serving. So just in the last 12 months, we distributed more than 11.2 million meals, which is a record amount for the food bank. Unfortunately, I say that I'm here working to put ourselves out of business, but that's not happening. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll see that in my lifetime. Next. Okay, so a few of our programs that is our pop-up farmers market. This is somewhat newer for us. We're really looking to do biweekly fresh produce boxes and recipes to different households, working with a lot of families, but also with a lot of seniors. This is something that as funding comes in, we will be generating more of these programs to get more fresh produce and healthier choices out into our community. So we are actively looking for additional funding for that program. Next. So childhood hunger initiatives, you all work with children every day. I'm sure you see the need out in the community as well. Our biggest program in-house is our childhood hunger initiative programs. Last year, 1.6 million meals. So this is a program, our backpack program, where we put out food into the community on Fridays through the school system and some of the libraries and some after-school centers. We know that the children have access to free breakfast and lunch during the week, but on the weekends, they might not have all the food that their family needs to make sure that they are eating correctly over the weekends. So right now we distribute 5,200 bags a week. 5,200 students or children here in the community get food to take home for the weekend. And we know it's not just a child that's in need of food, so we always put a family meal in our bags as well. Those 5,200 bags don't come pre-packed. So our volunteer program to pack those bags is very important for the food bank. I invite all of you to come out and volunteer. We have a great volunteer center. And again, we do great work because we are helping get food out to the kids in our community. Next. Our benefits outreach programs. So we have a waiver from the federal government. We have 7 full-time SNAP outreach staff, speak multiple languages. They see clients in our office and they are also out into the communities and see clients out in the communities. So we can help with food stamp SNAP assistance by doing the actual helping the families with all the paperwork that is needed, but we can also, our staff can do the interview process. That's a special waiver. There's only 3 organizations that are not part of the state program that are able to do those one-on-one interviews and get the people into the system a lot quicker than if they would have to kind of, either try to go to one of those offices and or mail in or send in, submit their paperwork. They still have to have that one-on-one interview. And so we're able to do that. Our staff that does our SNAP outreach is extremely busy. And they are seeing obviously an increase as well in the number of people that are in need of food assistance with the SNAP benefit program. Next. our senior hunger initiatives. So this is somewhat newer for us as well. We had 69,300 meals go out last year. This program's growing tremendously, and we're working with some of the senior-centric community organizations, the community centers, where our seniors gather. And we are doing produce and non-perishable food distribution to those seniors. We also are doing some nutrition education on a quarterly basis where we're inviting those seniors into our kitchen, which I'll talk about in a moment, so that they can learn a healthy eating recipe, and then also get a box of the items needed for what they just learned to go home and make on their own. So that's kind of a fun new twist on the program that we have for food nutrition education. Next. So 12.9 million meals distributed in 2024 through all of these different programs. And I'm hoping that I have a slide in here about my kitchen. Can you go next, please? Ways that you can help. You could partner with the food bank, volunteer at the food bank, donate, whether you're donating your time, talent, or treasure. We will gladly accept it, and giving to the food bank with financial donations. I thought I had a slide in here, but it doesn't look like it's in here. But I do want to talk about our new community kitchen program. So about 3 years ago, we put together a group of county, United Way, state, federal funders to help us open a community kitchen, a very large commercial kitchen. And then we also have a very a nice front kitchen where we can do these nutrition education pieces for our seniors and families and anybody else that will come and partake in those lessons. But one of the things that we're doing is we're partnering with Flippany, who is an organization out of Broward, and we are working on doing the hot meals for children through the CACFP program. So right now, the after school program, but we are gearing up right now for 3 weeks to hit off our first full season with our kitchen of doing summer break spots. So right now, I think we have 23 spots, and we'll be doing about 3,500 hot meals a day that we will then deliver out into the community. So I know a lot of our daycares do some of the different feeding programs. And so if you'd like more information on our program and our catering program and ways that we might be able to help you with your programs, your hot meal programs, feel free to reach out, because that's, we're working on healthy, nutritious meals for these kids, making them palatable and healthy. And we've got a great chef on board that's really creating some fantastic menus that our kids are really, really enjoying. So that's our newest program. And we're really excited for the summer so that we can make sure kids have food during the summer months when they don't have access at the schools. So that's really about it. A lot, but thank you for listening. And again, there's my contact information. And if we can be of any other food assistance needs, please feel free to reach out. We have a great team, great staff, and we are here to help. So thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Erin, I can't see any of the questions or anything. Did anything come in or unique for Jamie?
Just a question about the address.
Oh, okay. We are, I guess our address isn't up there. We are in Lake Worth. We are 701 Boutwell Road. So we're right off of 95 and 10th. Very centrally located, literally just a few minutes off of 95 and 10th exit.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
No
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It's all right. I appreciate you coming in, and nice to meet you in person. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank
Wonderful.
you. Have a
Yep,
great
thank
day.
you. They say thank you. Thanks. Wonderful. Okay, we'll move on. Thank you so much to Jamie. That was great information. I didn't know they were doing that much in our community. So we'll go to our next slide. And I think we move to Step Up. Nope, school district. Sorry, I apologize. School district. Hey, Kate.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good, thanks.
Good, good. All right, well, I'll jump right in here. I know you guys have a lot to cover. So, hi, everyone. My name is Kate McMahon. I'm a manager with the Department of Early Childhood with the School District of Palm Beach County. And we wanted to share with you a little bit of information about the Summer Bridge program. And so we have just a few brief slides here. But for those of you who are not necessarily familiar with Summer Bridge, it's a new program. So in the most recent well, I guess actually a legislative session ago, the state legislators decided that school districts should offer a summer program for select VPK students. So they're calling it a Summer Bridge program. And again, it's for select VPK students, and I'll share with you who those students are on the next slide in just a moment. But it's really for children who are in kind of the bottom 10th percentile of STAR, kids who maybe are still struggling and need a little extra boost before kindergarten. So that's the point of the program. And again, it's legislatively mandated that school districts offer this program. So this is our first year doing this. We are excited about it, but it is also a little bit of building the plane while we fly. And so I want to preface that right out of the gate here that we are doing our best. I think we're going to learn a lot this year. And I think every year it's going to get better and better, but we are excited to share this with you and excited for your feedback because you all really are going to have a lot of important feedback for how we can improve this program as we move forward. But this year, again, on the next slide, I'll share exactly which students are eligible. This year, the program will be held Monday, June 9th through Thursday, July 17th. It will operate on Fridays. So a couple things, nuances here to note. The state requires that this program be 100 hours and that there be 4 hours of instruction a day, which means 25 contact days with students. That's how we ended up with the Monday, June 9th through Thursday, July 17th, and including Fridays. So some of you may or may not be familiar with the fact that the school district runs several summer programs, several reading summer programs, et cetera. Those programs begin a week later. So most of the other district summer school students will start on Monday, June 16th. We will start on Monday, June 9th. And that is because the state requires 100 hours, 4 hours a day, which is 25 contact days. The district is also typically closed for summer school on Fridays, but this program will run. That excludes a couple Fridays, June 20th, which is after the Juneteenth holiday, and July 4th, which is after the technical June 3rd June 3rd holiday. So a high level there on the dates of the program. The hours for students are 8:30 to 12:30. Children will receive breakfast and lunch. Classrooms will be staffed by a certified teacher and a credentialed ECP, early childhood professional, which is somebody with a staff credential. The teacher-child ratio in this program is 1 to 12. And it's important to know that transportation by the school district is not provided. There's a little bit of a thought that we wanted to put out to private centers is that if you have several children who are eligible for this program and you have transportation, we'd love to work with you to figure out if you might be able to transport children back to your centers after this program completes at 12:30 so that potentially children could join the Summer Bridge program and also still continue their day with all of you. That's something we'd like to explore as a possibility. But again, this is new, and so we need your help to kind of figure out the best way to move forward with all of this. But here are the high level logistics for the program. All right, next slide, if you don't mind, Gina. Wonderful. So who's eligible? There are 3 criteria for students that the state has laid out. So the state has said the children that may attend this program are those who are in the bottom 10th percentile, actually below the 10th percentile. So this is for children who score basically 9 on down, the 9th percentile on down on STAR PM3. So many of you, I'm sure, have started or are about to start your PM3 testing. And it's that PM3 testing data that will determine which children are eligible. So when you test your students, if you have somebody whose report then shows that they're in the 9th percentile, that child is eligible for this summer bridge program. If they're in the 2nd percentile, they're eligible. If they're in the 10th or the 11th percentile, they are not. So the state criteria is 9 and below. Other criteria that allow for eligibility are if they could not complete the practice items. So if you have a child perhaps who for attention issues or perhaps language issues isn't able to get through the practice tests, the practice questions to take the actual assessment, that child is eligible. And if they couldn't complete the assessment for whatever reason, they got halfway through and then they couldn't do it, those children are also eligible. So those are the 3 criteria that make an eligible child. Okay, next slide. Okay, so where is this program? And I saw a question here. Actually, I see one question. Where does the funding come from this? This is funding from the state as it's legislatively mandated by the state. And then where are the classes offered? This is them. So the district actually has summer programming in many sites. And we are at a subset of sites. So these are the sites that we'll be at. We'll be at Northmore Elementary, C.O. Taylor, Locks Groves, Starlight Cove Elementary, Orchard View, KEC Canal Point, and Gove. So our goal was to try and get a spread across the county. We had some criteria we still had to hit. It had to be schools that were already offering summer programming because we have to have a summer admin on site. That also is what allows us then to have the meals and to have the all of the other supports that kind of go into running a building. So this is where the program will be housed. Children will be assigned one of these sites based on their zoned school. So whatever address they associate with a zoned district school, that will determine where they go. So if a child, I'm just going to put it out there right now, attends right now, let's say Bethune Elementary, their address places them, their zoned school is Bethune, they will likely be placed at Northmore for the summer bridge program. And that applies to all of the sites listed here. Okay, next slide. So how do children enroll? This is probably the most important information here for all of you. But the way that children will enroll for this is that we're asking center directors to review their PM3 scores and then share a letter of invitation with that family. This is a letter of invitation that the state sort of gave us a draft. We've tailored it for our county. We have it in multiple languages. We have it in English, Spanish, Haitian Creole. But the letter of invitation will share those high-level logistics. So the dates, the hours, and it will have well, it won't have the location on that. That comes later, but it'll have the hours and the dates of the program. On that invite letter will be a QR code that families can scan, and we are hopeful that center directors or teachers will help families with that. But scan that QR code, which will take them to a Google form where they will indicate, yes, I'm interested in this program. That will come to our department, and we will then reach out to that family to say, tell us a little bit more. What's your home address, so that we can identify the school that is appropriate for them to attend, and we can help them complete the school district registration paperwork. Because in order to attend the Summer Bridge program, they do have to complete the School District of Palm Beach County registration paperwork, which is listed here. We know that some children will have already done this because they're intending to attend kindergarten in the fall, so they might have already started that process. So we are going through a process where we're making sure we don't create duplicate enrollments. That's part of what we have to do. But we will work one-on-one with families once they complete that Google form to tell us, my child's eligible and I would like to take advantage of this opportunity. We'll work one-on-one with them. So really the biggest step for center directors or teachers is to identify the children based on PM3 data, share that letter of invitation, and help them complete that Google form if they'd like to attend. Attendance is not mandatory. They are able to stay wherever they would like through the course of the summer. It is also not a requirement for attending kindergarten. We want to be very clear that if a child does not attend Summer Bridge, they are welcome, and we are hopeful that they will still join us for kindergarten. I see here, where will you find the letter of invitation? That's going to be sent to you by Gina. So, okay, great. Confirming that's still the plan. So we'll send you that letter of invitation that you can print and get to families. We're also going to include a link to the school district registration paperwork that you can also print out so that you could help that family get that paperwork done. I'll be honest that is one of our kind of biggest concerns around how to get this done, especially because it's in a short time frame. But any help that you all can give around helping parents to complete that registration paperwork and then scan it and get it back to us is going to help us more smoothly enroll their kids. But you'll get all of those links from Gina. And I see, well, here, I'll finish this and then we can go back to any questions. Okay. And I think that was largely it, but go ahead to the next slide if you don't mind. So what's in a day? This is just a very high level, but we'll be using Pre-K On My Way, a condensed version of that curriculum. Scholastic has worked with us to create a 100-hour program to really try and pull the most important parts to help kids get up to speed. You can see a high level schedule there. Again, this is our first time doing this, and so I would anticipate it might change a bit as we learn what works best. Children will still have access to Age of Learning during this summer program. We're very grateful for that. And yeah, so there's a high level at our day. Next slide. And here's some key contact information. So our director is MJ Steele. I'm Kate. Margot is a specialist on my team who has been helping to coordinate this with all of our summer school programming. Kira is one of our transition to kindergarten ambassadors who very graciously has agreed to help us with some of our Spanish speaking families. And then Micheline with some of our Haitian Creole speaking families as we reach out to them after we get that Google form to say, hey, we'd love for you to join us. Let's make sure we get all the paperwork completed. So contact information is there. And we are eager to work with all of you and happy to answer any questions, do whatever we can. Okay, I think that's it. And then I'm happy to answer whatever questions we can. I saw one up here. Let me see.
Yeah, it looks like someone asked, is this letter going to every child care provider?
Yes, we'll get it out to everyone. But because it's dependent on VPK scores, it's really preliminary, primarily for children who've been at VPK programs. So those providers that are offering VPK. But we'll
And I should clarify that it is only children who have attended VPK who are eligible. So they must have used their VPK certificate throughout this school year somewhere in order to be eligible. So, yeah.
Okay. Yep, we'll get it out. And it is brand new. Like this was legislation from last summer, right? That we were getting in place this summer. So wonderful.
Yeah. And I see a question, why is this not offered to private sites and why is the information being shared so late? And I would say the state has legislated that school districts offer this program.
Yeah.
And the information, well, the fact that districts were required to do this program would have been publicly available with the legislative release. We're sharing this information now as it's taken us this long to figure out how to coordinate with the summer school programming and how to figure out how to get all of this going. It's a little tricky that it's dependent upon PM3 scores.
Right.
That's made all of this hard.
Harder, yeah.
Yeah. I will be very transparent in that it gives a very small window of time to let families know that they're eligible. It gives families a small window of time to do what they need to do and to get all of that paperwork going. So, again, I continue to say this, and it's because I mean it. I think we'll learn a lot this year. I think the state will learn a lot this year, and maybe things, will look a little different next year, but we look forward to feedback and to advocate for ways to make this smoother or better.
Yep. And that kind of leads to VPK too, even with PM3 testing. You don't necessarily have to wait till the end of the window to test students. If you test them sooner and you know they're sort of on that border of that lower percentile, then that would get them this information even sooner because they would know this month. I mean, basically May's it, right? And we're already into May. So
Yeah.
wonderful. Most of our sites, will be done by the end of May. So we have very few that go into June for VPK. So
Yeah.
all right, wonderful. Thank you, Kate. This is great
Absolutely.
information. We are
Sure.
looking forward to sharing this. And Margot, nice to meet you. And I know everybody else. So, so thank you so much for sharing. And we will get this out to everybody at the end of the meeting, along with the recording and the contact information. So
Wonderful.
great.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, we're doing pretty good. Let's see. On to our next slide, please. And I think now we're up to step up. There we are. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Learning
Thanks for
lots this
joining us.
morning.
I know. Very informative we are this morning. And we're going to
Yes.
learn even more because we are all interested in Step Up for Students. So well, I'm sure we'll have lots of great feedback and questions from our participants, but take it away.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you again, everyone, for being here this morning and learning about how you all can connect and become providers with our various scholarship programs. Now, my presentation that you'll see is a bit lengthy, so I will run through some of the slides that provide overviews of the scholarships, but you will receive a copy of this presentation so that you can refer back to it and have that information. So next. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Step Up for Students, we are a nonprofit scholarship organization and we administer several scholarship programs. Our focus is going to be on 3 of them today, which will be able to tie into what you all do in your day-to-day with your kiddos. And again, our mission is to empower families to pursue the best and appropriate learning options for their child. Okay, so next, please. Okay, so the 3 scholarships that we're going to focus on today is going to be the PEP Scholarship, which is the Personal Education Program for at-home education, the Unique Abilities Scholarship for students with unique abilities and diagnoses, and our NWSA, which is our New Worlds Scholarship account. We're going to go over how these families become eligible for these programs and then what that means to you all and how you all are able to participate and become providers with us through these 3 scholarships. Next, please. Okay, so you could go up to the next slide because this is just a kind of brief overview of these 3 programs. We'll go a little bit more in depth. I do want to highlight some changes that occurred last legislative session, especially with our 3- and 4-year-olds. So as you could see there, any child's now, the requirement was that they had to be 3 years old for the Unique Abilities Scholarship by or on September 1st, and that date was extended to December 31st. So it allows those kiddos that are turning 3 to be able to have their birthday until December in order to go ahead and apply for the scholarship. Also, the Unique Abilities Scholarship can now be used in coordination with any VPK voucher for those students, again, on the Unique Abilities Scholarship towards their funds for private school tuition and various services. Okay, so I do want to bring that up because that is a lot of good information for those of you that knew that it only had to be one or the other. Now those 2 can be combined. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a brief video. We don't have to go through it, but for those of you that have heard Education Savings Account, all of our scholarship programs are Education Savings Account, which provide families that flexibility to not only use their funds for either private school, home education, and items like that, but they could also use it for therapies, tutoring, and other services. So it does allow families that flexibility to meet the needs of their students. So that's just a brief overview of what an education savings account is. Next slide. Okay, so here's where we're going to dive a little bit more on the PEP Scholarship. This one serves students kindergarten through 12th grade. Next, yes. So this scholarship program was designed for those families that prefer not to enroll their child in a public or private school and would like to access the education savings account for their child's education to be directed by their parent. Next. Okay, so here are the eligibility requirements. The student has to be kindergarten through 12th grade, reside in the state of Florida. If they're going to be entering kindergarten, they do have to be 5 on or before September 1st in order to be able to apply for that school year. One key point for the PEP scholarship is it works different than if you were previously homeschooling through the district. Once you're on the PEP scholarship, you do have to withdraw from the district as home education, because from there, the scholarship funding organization, which is Step Up, will be the one to kind of manage that student's home education information. And then we do have there is no longer any income guidelines per se. However, if you are in between some of these poverty level guidelines, you just have priority as far as the processing goes. But anyone, regardless of where you are financially, you are able to apply for this scholarship and be eligible. And you are able to show proof of your income with these documents. If you want to show that you should have higher priority in the processing timeline because you are at that lower percentage of poverty guidelines. Next slide, please. Okay, so for here, again, with the scholarship requirements, the students will have to do a student learning plan, or better yet, the family has to maintain a student learning plan every year. What that means is the families are going to set goals and kind of plan out what their school year will look like. So they'll have to do that every year. We will notify families when they should do that. Also, there is a norm reference test that will have to be taken annually, and that can be found on the Department of Education's website, as well as ours, what those tests are that are approved for that for this particular scholarship program. So those are kind of the two major requirements once a family is on the PEP scholarship. Next slide. So here are some of the items that the PEP scholarship covers. So it could cover curriculum hybrid learning, meaning that a family can choose to take their child to a participating private school at least 2 times during the week in order for them to do that hybrid learning option. So they could do home education instruction programs. They could use their funds for different tutorings, after school programs, summer programs, choice navigators, the list goes on. So you'll be able to dive a little bit more into that going forward. Next slide. So as I mentioned, the hybrid schooling option is something new for legislation. So again, it has to be a participating private school, and the Department of Education does have that on their website of the participating private schools that have been deemed eligible to provide hybrid options to PEP students. Next. So here are just some QR codes that provide a little bit more insight to assist any families that you might know that need help with their student learning plans, and also just frequently asked questions about the program. So these are available. And again, you will have a copy of this so that you can refer back to after this. Now, I want to just take a pause if anyone has any questions in general about the PEP scholarship before I move on to the next one. Okay, perfect. So the next scholarship program that we have is the Unique Ability Scholarship. This one starts at age 3 through 12th grade. So again, next slide, please. And you can go to the next. So this scholarship program, the way families, we're able to determine their eligibility is they will submit either an IEP or a formal diagnosis from a licensed physician or psychologist in order for us to verify that the student does have a qualifying diagnosis. And then again, as we mentioned, the requirement is that the student has to be 3 years old on or before December 31st of the calendar year that they're applying for. And they will continue receiving the scholarship. So every year they do have to fill out an intent to continue. So we know that the family is still interested in the scholarship. So this scholarship program, the student will remain receiving and eligible until either they return to a public school, they graduate from high school, or they reach the age of 22, whichever comes first. Next. And here are the eligible diagnoses for this scholarship program. So we have a variety of diagnoses that are eligible to qualify for this program. Your other health impairment topic there would include anything such as ADD, ADHD, and those types of diagnoses. And again, that is available on our website for families to refer back to verify that their child does indeed qualify for this program. Next. So with this scholarship program, again, the students are able to be enrolled in a private school, or they could also use it as home education. Now, if they are going to use it as home education, these families on this scholarship will register with the district to inform that they are home educating. So that's the difference between PEP and this one. And again, they could use it for a variety of items. If we go to the, we could go to the next slide, but they could use it for therapies, tutoring, to purchase curriculums, to purchase technology items. So like Best Buy, a laptop, things like that is covered under the scholarship. And we will have upcoming some links to our handbooks where families can look into that to see the full items that are covered under these different scholarship programs. Next slide. I think we need to go back. Okay, yeah, the next one. Okay, perfect. So here are just some of the items that are covered, as I mentioned, you know, horse therapy, music, again, the tutoring and various services that the families can use under this. So again, education savings account, it's providing families with that flexibility based on the student's needs and how the student best learns. So these are, again, great programs that our state has allowed for our families to have and utilize. And then we'll move on to the next scholarship. Okay, so our final scholarship that is tied into kind of what you all do is our New World Scholarship Program. This scholarship program is for those students that are struggling with either reading or math, and they need that extra service. So this one serves students VPK through 5th grade, and it provides the families with $1,200 to cover for either after-school programs, summer programs, curriculums, to boost their reading and math skills. So, and this one is for public school students only. So any student that's either VPK through 5th grade in a public school is able to apply for the New World Scholarship Program. Next. Now, here are the actual requirements. So if the student has shown substantial reading deficiency or exhibits any characteristics of dyslexia under that statute, also if they scored below a level 3 on the standardized English language arts assessment that prior school year, they would be eligible to apply as well. Again, if it's for math, same things. They have to be showing a substantial deficiency in mathematics and have scored below a level 3 on their statewide assessment as well. Okay, so again, the families will have access to these funds in their account and they can use it for pre-approved services through our marketplace. So on our platform, EMA is our Education Market Assistant. We call it EMA, if you've heard of it. That's the platform where families apply and our schools are there as well as our providers. So families have access to a marketplace on there with already pre-approved providers and items that they can go there directly and use it. So that's why we're here today, is to see how we can get you all to be a pre-approved provider so families know where they can go to access some of these resources. Next slide. Okay, so just as I mentioned, they could use it for tutoring services, summer programs, after school programs, curriculums, as well as technology items. Next. Okay, so here are some resources for you all as providers or potential providers if you are interested in joining us and venturing down that. These are going to be some QR codes for you all. There, we have a provider checklist of some of the items that you will need when creating your account, and then some of the handbooks in regard to these 3 scholarships, so you can learn a little bit more on how they work. That way you can assist families in understanding a little bit more about these scholarships. Next. Okay, and then for these 2 scholarships, the PEP and the Unique Abilities, they're going to be some QR codes for our purchasing guides. Again, it's just a guide for families to know what is covered, what's not, and how these scholarships are used in further detail. Okay, so we're here to the juicy part, is how you all as early learning centers can have access to these funds to grow your revenues, to serve the community and students. We could skip through these slides. These are just some of the numbers of how our scholarships are basically, how many families we're serving at this point. So in 2024-25, there's going to be over $1 billion in scholarships that won't be used to pay full-time tuition to an eligible private school, meaning these families are able to use it for the extra services that we have mentioned. So what that means for you all is you could develop a program to serve any of those homeschool students, and you could do it as part of a contracted service. You could also have students come for part of the day to complete a distinct course of study, such as math, science, technology, extracurriculars. You all can develop an after-school tutoring program that would provide extra income for your teachers. Or you can utilize your exception student educators to provide OT, PT, and SLP. So here for you, those are just some of the ideas of how you all can partner with us and provide these extra resources at your centers and be able to access some of those scholarship dollars for your centers. Next slide. Okay, so how would you participate is you would first go into our education market platform, our EMA system, and you would create an account. Students are actually funded quarterly. So anything that the families are not using for tuition at a private school or for their home education, and they have those reserve funds, that will stay in their account. And that is what they're going to be using for these extra resources. Once the services are rendered, the provider can submit an invoice for payment, and payments take a few business days to deliver. So another thing is, once you're an approved provider, parents can actually pay you out of pocket and they could seek reimbursement on their own. So either we pay the providers directly or parents pay out of pocket and then we reimburse the parents. So those are the 2 ways that we can do that for families. And again, what does it cost to you? Which is a big question. It's nothing. So we don't collect any transaction fees on any part of this process. We are here to educate you all on how these scholarships work, on how families potentially can use them so that families have more options, which is what we're trying to achieve. We're serving over 500,000 students now, and these families need the resources. So our top goal now is to work with various organizations and providers that can meet some of these needs for these children. And so we'll go to the next slide and see how, show you a little bit more about what the program looks like. Again, that is a link to our provider checklist. I know it's in the earlier slides as well. And so providers can connect with families and students to provide educational opportunities. These are all the various categories that potentially are available. Now, you most likely won't be able to service all of these categories, but as I mentioned with the previous ones, there will be some categories that will tie within what you all are able to provide. Again, like approved VPK and school readiness, maybe provide a hybrid option, and other items like part-time tutoring and specialized services. Next. Okay, so in Emma, again, there's a business account and there's a personal account, and we can go over what you need to do. So every service category that we have available, some require for you to have a business and a personal, some require just a business. So we'll go into that as well. Next. Okay, so the business part aspect, when you see this as you're, potentially creating these accounts, is your business is going to be what handles the accounting and billing. So that's where you're going to have a bank account linked, and items like that so that we can fund for the services that you are rendering. And then a personal one is personal refers to the individuals who provide approved services that are paid through a business. So for example, if your learning center is the business entity, you will have your teachers that are going to be providing some of these services. If they're, let's say, for example, providing tutoring services, then they will create a personal account, an individual account, and tie themselves to your business. And all the invoices would be coming to the business section. Next. So these are the following categories of providers that do need personal provider accounts. So if you're going to be providing any specialized therapy, such as ABA, SLP, OT, or PT, if you're going to be doing tutoring services, music and art therapies, job coaching, those do require personal accounts because we will need to verify that individual's credentials. And again, these provider handbooks that I mentioned earlier do have the specific credentials that are required for these services. Next. And then these are the ones that do not need personal provider accounts. They could just be business. So for example, if you're a learning center, you're contracted through the Early Learning Coalition and you're ready to go and you want to provide that, that you will now provide the VPK and school BS, VPK school readiness provider. All we would verify is your contract with the Early Learning Coalition in order for us to approve you. So just a thought there. Next. Again, these are external guides that we have available as well. You'll have access to those on some of the links that are earlier in this presentation. So these external guides, for example, if it says specialized services, what you want to provide, it will give you the definition of what that means, what documentation you would have to provide, and how that ties in, and what programs you're able to service with that type of category. Next. So if you're wondering, am I able to become a provider for all scholarship programs? Each of the service categories can service either multiple scholarships or just one or the other. So in the external guides, as you're kind of looking into what services you want to tie in and provide services for, you'll be able to see what are the eligible programs based on that one. So for example, part-time tutoring, all of our scholarship programs that we administer cover part-time tutoring. So that's just a thought. You would be able to service any student on any of these scholarships if you choose to provide a part-time tutoring service. These are just some screenshots, more or less of what you're going to be looking into when you're creating the account. So for example, it's going to have put place a physical location, your hours of operation. These are all items that families will see on their end as to what services you provide, where you're located, and items like that. Same thing with this, just how you're going to enter your different services, navigating your marketplace. Yes, these are all just little details. Here is a variety of links and resources to help you all during this process. Again, we have a YouTube channel with a lot of videos that are step by step to create these accounts. And I also want to provide, one-on-one assistance. If any of you choose to become a provider and you've kind of gone through all of this, but you want a little bit more help and a little bit more guidance, I am happy to meet with you all on a one-on-one to get your accounts created and guide you through the process. And just here's some information general about our service center. So we're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a live chat on our website if you ever have questions, or you can call our service center. But again, if you're ready to onboard for the first time and want that assistance, I am happy to provide that one-on-one help.
Awesome. Any questions from, that's so much great information. Oh my goodness.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
Any questions from our participants? I didn't see any come in, but they may be digesting. So I think there's a lot
Yes.
to think about. And I so appreciate you coming on and explaining to us. So thank you. It's great to hear about the VPK and the Unique Abilities Scholarship. So
Yes,
can-
definitely. There's a lot of opportunities out there. So I'm happy if anyone wants to, again, talk offline. I'm here.
did we have your contact information, Melissa, on a slide?
I will put it in the chat.
Okay, great. We
That
did
way
have a
everyone has
request
it.
for that. Thank you. We'll put that in the chat there. Any other questions? If not, if you have more and you're just thinking about them and throw them in the chat, we can always circle back to them. But we'll keep moving and we'll go on to Palm Beach State. Thank you, Melissa, again for joining us. And
Yes,
we'll
thank you for having me.
talking
I
soon. Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yes. And we'll move to Palm Beach State.
Good morning. I'm Robin Russo with Palm Beach State College.
Hi, Rob.
And I'm not quite sure if anyone else from Palm Beach State College wanted to speak before I get started, or you're good with me starting with the Center for Student Wellbeing.
I think we probably can start with you.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So I'm the Director of Student Wellbeing for Palm Beach State College, and I just wanted to let you guys know some of the services that we have for our enrolled students. Because I believe the last time I've met with, I don't think the whole team, but with many of you, our services have expanded and changed. So we provide for any of our currently enrolled students. It does not matter if they are enrolled in 1 credit or 100 credits or clock hour programs. It doesn't matter. We do provide individual mental health counseling and case management services that are available both on campus and virtually. We have food pantries on 4 of our 5 campuses. The only one that it's temporarily closed on is Loxahatchee because of the build out on the campus. We're waiting for new space and then we can reopen it there. The one thing that we do, well, now I am advertising it. The one thing that we don't advertise is, because we have set hours for the pantry and we know that some people are in clock hour programs or they're working and can't make it, we also have certain emergency boxes of food left in different buildings for students to pick up if it's a true crisis situation. Now, I strongly encourage them, because they can't come on a regular basis to pick them up, to come during the day, because we can't store boxes with fresh goods in different offices. So they're going to only have canned goods. But our pantries, we have phenomenal food for them. I mean, we do have fresh produce, we have meats, poultries. We never know what we're getting, but it's really good quality food. And I don't want anyone to let pride or shame or stigma get in the way of coming to get what they need. The only thing that they're asked when they come to pick up food from the pantry is their name, current student ID, and how many members of their household they have. So the reason we ask them that is all of the food is pre-boxed, so they can just come pick up the box and leave. But if they have a larger family, we want to give them a little bit more. We also have personal hygiene items in there and other assorted items that we don't regularly give out. And if they ask for them, we can try and meet that need. This is new for us, and then you'll see pictures of it a little bit farther on. So we also partnered with our testing centers as a pilot, and I just expanded it to any student. We have a test anxiety and stress management program. So it's not just coming in and relax. It's for any student. They can book an appointment with one of my team members before an exam and come take part or be led through progressive muscle relaxation or guided imagery or anything to help them de-stress before their exam. Because we all know that when you are less anxious, and there's a lot of research about it, you tend to do better on your exams and better educationally and complete a little bit easier. So we tested it on a couple different campuses, and we're in the process of expanding it. We started with just students that were taking tests in the testing center and currently enrolled, but now we're starting to open up our bookings for students that even if they're having their test in their class and they want to come in beforehand or just stressing out with life in general and they don't need counseling or therapy, they just want to be taken through a stress management thing, we're doing that for them as well. I think I'm going to save it for last, even though it's kind of next on the slide, but I'm going to save it for last so I can really talk about it. We also now have certified handlers and dogs for pet therapy, and we can book appointments, or we just have them in another room that we have here, and student can just walk in during certain hours and chill out with one of the dogs. The handlers that are certified are team members. So they are our mental health professionals, either fully licensed or some of our master's level and bachelor level interns. So now the dogs can actually go into therapy sessions if need be, and it's not a violation of confidentiality by having an outside person come in just to cuddle a dog. Not that I'm denigrating or putting that down, because we love that and we do that too. We do have, and that is right now only on the Lake Worth campus. Just logistically, I can't expand it at this time. And we also have yoga for faculty, students, and staff on the Lake Worth campus once a week. It's starting in the fall semester with guided imagery and yoga on the Boca Raton campus as well. And if I have volunteer amongst our employees, people, I can expand that to other campuses as well. We do have support groups for our students. We have an 8 Dimensions of Wellness group, and that's available on every single campus and virtually. And I've also contracted with NAMI, and they will be holding support group and education on site for us once a week on the Lake Worth campus. It'll start either in the summer or fall. I'm not quite sure when that is starting. But I think that's it's phenomenal for us to be able to partner with that agency and do that. And then we also have an art therapist on board that's doing creative expression groups on a couple of our campuses. My department is officially the foster care unhoused youth liaison. So we are trying to work very closely with the students that are struggling with homelessness or coming in with McKinney-Vento waivers, just to make sure they're connected with team members or any department that they need help with. I think, and I guess I shouldn't assume this, but we all know when we grow up in households that are not as stable as they could be, sometimes we're taught not to ask for help, or we have to be self-reliant. And sometimes that works against us. So what we're trying to do is preempt those problems and be a friendly face for students that have grown up with extra difficulties, have been removed from a house or adopted, or they're struggling with homelessness for different reasons. So if we are already known to them before they're struggling academically, we can hand walk them over to the tutoring center or hand walk them over to advising or financial aid or any of those other departments where they might need extra assistance but not want to ask for help until it's almost too late. So the thing that I saved for last is the Student Emergency Assistance Fund. That's huge for us. This is a fund for any student. Sorry that it was on there too, but this is what is next slide. I know I just keep on going and I'll say next slide, so don't worry, but I just skipped that one on the bottom. Is it your left too? Or is it your right? Okay, good. Student Emergency Assistance Fund is available for any student in need that is enrolled in 6 or more credits. You must be enrolled in 6 or more credits to qualify for this. This is by a private donor, and they can apply for this online. If a student is in an emergency situation, like I lost my job because I was sick or have less hours and I can't afford to pay my light bill, or I can't pay my rent or my mortgage or childcare because I had my hours cut, they can apply for this and we can try and get that approved for them. It used to be one time only. I have not announced this to the college yet, but it is now more than one time that we can help if it's a differing need. When students apply, they must upload their class schedule. Clock hours count, don't worry. Okay, I'm just saying this because of the audience here too. So I say 6 credits, but I also know some of our cosmetology or nursing, it may look a little bit different, or childcare providers, it may look different, and we understand that, but they must upload their class schedule, and they must also upload a copy of the bill. The bill must be in their name, has to be in their name. They have to upload the complete bill, and I'm being so stringent about this because this is what takes the longest amount of time to process student requests. Sometimes they'll just upload a screenshot that has an amount due, but there's no name on it. There's no company name. There's no nothing. So they must upload that complete bill that shows their name, the account number, the amount due, the company name that they owe it to, and the mailing address for vendor or the company. If it's a lease, they have to upload every single page of that lease. Okay. No payments go directly to students. None. They're paid directly to the vendor, the company that the money is owed to. The money is paid in the form of a check, and it's mailed snail mail. So we try and encourage students, please don't wait till your lights are out. Please don't do that, because it's a panel of individuals. It's not just Robin that is reviewing each and every application that comes in. We can't upload any documentation for students. We are very tight on it. So there's no favoritism, no fraud, no anything that goes wrong. They have to upload all of that information. So when the panel meets, we all review every single application that comes in, and then we process it. If it's approved, then and I'm telling you every step that's taken so you know why it's time consuming. Then we have to write the check request. It goes to the finance department. Then it goes to be signed in a totally different building on a different campus, then comes back. Then it's all set and mailed out. So it can be a little bit timely. If students, we meet once a month, but if students are in a real bind, I will call an emergency meeting. And I tend to look at those applications almost every day. And if I see something came in, even though we're officially meeting, I'll call a meeting because I don't want people to have to wait. So that is that. Please tell them to look at our college, the Center for Student Wellbeing webpage, and they can find the link to apply there. They can find links for all services there. Life is good. And now I'm going to say next slide. Thank you. So what we're seeing in the Counseling Center of Panthers Pantry, we are seeing a lot of students that are experiencing active suicidal ideation and also passive suicidal ideation. I'd say over 85% of our students at least have passive suicidal ideation, but we are hospitalizing or sending someone to a higher level of care at least once or twice a month. We're seeing students that have experienced a lot of death of relatives that are unhoused or about to be unhoused, issues of abuse. Our top reasons for students coming for services is they're feeling isolated, stressed out, they are totally overwhelmed, and their bills are out of control right about now. We are seeing more and more requests for that emergency assistance fund for housing. Just put it out there. The application does say that the limit that we can pay is $500. it is more than that. So and we will pay more than one bill at a time. So if they have a couple bills, upload all that they have and we'll see what we can do. Can't guarantee all of them or any of them, but we will try. Sorry, I'm going back to that again, but I know that was one of the big questions and was asked why I was asked to present. We don't pay credit card bills. We do not pay collection notices, and we are not paying your court fees or I feel silly saying this, but we've had the request. If you've been court mandated to anger management and you just want us to pay it off for you so you can get that part of your life over with, we're not approved to do that. Okay. So anyway, this is what we're seeing students for. And next slide, please. Thank you. So on the right-hand side, you see a picture of our Lake Worth pantry. You'll see those bags or boxes that are on the table are a portion of the order that students are getting. They're also, that does not include any drinks. It doesn't include fresh produce. It doesn't include anything that needs to be refrigerated. We just keep these boxes ready. We do ask students to schedule an appointment so we know how many boxes to pack, and we won't turn anyone away. So if someone doesn't have an appointment and they come in, we're just saying, hey, schedule your appointment while you're standing here and you're good to go. And please try and schedule it next week. They can come once a week. On your left, you'll see something called our Tranquility Center. I'm horrible at self-promotion. I opened this a year ago, I hate to say, and we've never advertised it, and it's always full. This is a room for students just to come and relax if they're feeling overwhelmed. It's also where we have our yoga classes. It is, and we have massage chairs. What you can't see behind that screen is we have a rug and big bean bags for students to lay down on. This is on the Lake Worth campus. We also have it on the Boca campus, and we're in the process of opening it on the Belglade campus. You can't come hang out with your friends and talk to them there, can't eat your food in there, can't take your classes in there, but what you can do is come relax when you're feeling overwhelmed. Put your headphones on, listen to your music, just try and de-escalate. If you need to talk to someone, we can pull you with one of our team members and have them talk to you. We have disposable eye masks for students to put on if they want to shut out the world. We have little foot covers. They can go on the little rug without dirty feet. We have journals. We have art supplies. We have all sorts of stuff for our students to just try and make them feel a little bit better. We are holding groups in there. That's actually where the NAMI support group is going to be. And I also don't have a picture of it because they just put, yes, I do. And the next slide, sorry. If you want to go to the next slide. So there's just some of our certified therapy dogs and handlers with a Palmer. We have one of our, honestly, used to be work study, faking a picture like he's taking yoga in our room because he was kind enough to do that for us. And that is just a smaller representation of the room and the furniture where our students go for their guided imagery, test anxiety, relaxation work that they're doing with us by appointment. And I think that's about it, other than the QR codes for students to schedule appointments or get to our web pages. I do not think I'm forgetting anything, but I might be. You never know. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns for B? Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
What?
thank you, Robin. I haven't seen any come in, but we'll let you know if someone pops something in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My contact number is on there as well on the front, the first or second slide. And if you need anything from me, please feel free to reach out. And I appreciate y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Lucia, hi.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. I am Lucia Adrian, and I work in the early childhood department on the Lake Worth campus. I'm just going to go over some of our programs with you this morning. We have the early, all of our early care programs that go through Lake Worth. Our delivery method, we have not always face-to-face, but some of them are face-to-face. Most of our classes are live online, and we also have online classes. It's very affordable. We do have scholarship opportunities that I'm going to go over with you. And as you go through our programs, we do have career advising and support for the entire program. Next, please. Okay, entry level, and that's part of what I do. We have the 40-hour introductory childcare training, and for the summer, that is just all live online. We have the 30-hour family childcare training. Our classes will be beginning on the 19th of May. So if you have any staff members that need training, please have them sign up. We have the most incredible teachers, and most people just love our classes when they do attend. And also the 40-hour school age training. So we have all of that, as well as all of the certificate programs. We have the FCCPC, ECPC, SAPC, all the PCs, and those all lead to the staff credential when they're completed. So we have the infant toddler, we have preschool, and we have school age. And then as we continue on, not in our department, but we also have for early childhood, we have the associate, we have bachelor programs, and then the Institute of Excellence is here today, and they will be talking about their program, but they offer a lot of professional development in our county. Okay, next, please. Additional resources. Of course, we have the Department of Children and Families. Please remember that when people are taking the 40-hour, to make sure that they do sign up in DCF, because that is the tracking system through the state. I recommend that you let your staff sign up themselves, because sometimes we do have the wrong information. Sometimes we have a nickname as their name of the student, and then when they come to take the test, we turn them away because the name doesn't match exactly, and that's our requirement. So please make sure that your staff member puts their official name, the one that is going to be on their driver's license or passport. And we also have the Trauma-Informed Care course, which is starting May 21st. It's absolutely wonderful, and I think we may even have one seat left for this semester if anybody's interested, but we do offer it every semester. Next. Okay, our big news of the day is that we finally, I think we've waited an entire year, we finally have the Haitian Creole exams. So when your staff is signing up for exams, one of the things that they have to do is choose their language. There's a drop-down menu. So if they do speak Haitian Creole, then that would be the language that they would choose. I haven't gotten any feedback yet about how it's going. We have had some students take the exams already in Haitian Creole, but not too many. But we're really excited to be able to finally offer this to our test takers. Please note, though, that the curriculum is still only in English. So when they do study, they might need a little help with translation, but the tests are in Haitian Creole. Okay, next. Okay, a little contact information. Our director, Dr. Ruth Florial, is our wonderful director. And then there's me, our contact information. Marcia Marie Mosley is the person who does the 40-hour school age, and she does all of our certificate programs. So her information is listed there. Casey Wilbanks works with she's our chairperson, and she's the associate professor for our credit early childhood program. And then we have Dr. Susie Duff in the human services department. Okay, and scholarship information. Right now, we have scholarships for the 40 hours. And then for the certificate programs and on up through everything, through the master's degree, we have Zach Scuderi, who does the Sikh scholarship. And then if it's for the school age program, we have Eliza Morrow, and she does the primetime scholarships. Okay, I think that is it. This is our webpage. If you have, our schedules are on there, our contact information is on there, everything about the programs is on that website. So if you have questions, you can look there. And please, if you ever have questions, don't ever hesitate to call us. We are always available. I'm very happy to help you. Okay. Any questions?
We did have one that said that she's so thankful for the Creole exams, but she was wondering, do you have any information about when the curriculum might be offered in Creole?
As far as I know, it is not being translated. I mean, that may be further down the line, but they have not told us anything about that. Last I heard, they were not planning on translating it, but you never know. Things change. And if I hear anything, I will definitely let the community know.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucia. And I see Deb's on camera, but you're muted still, Deb. So let's see. There you go, maybe.
Okay, and is that good?
That's
Woo-hoo!
good. Woohoo!
So, hello everybody, and I'm Deb Strange. I think many of you do know me, but for those that don't, I'm with the Institute of Excellence in Early Care and Education, and we are here today, or I'm here today, to talk about all the different programs that we have under our umbrella at the Institute. So we can start with, okay, here we go. All right. So the Institute of Excellence actually has our own, what we call outreach advisors, and they are advisors that are specific to the early childhood community in Palm Beach County. If you're enrolled at Palm Beach State College or elsewhere, you're used to talking to an academic advisor, but which is great. But our outreach advisors are specific to all the programming and all the professional development and everything that's going on in Palm Beach County to be able to guide you in your professional development journey, whether that's credit, non-credit, certificate, etc. So, and Raquel Gary is the manager of that program and is happy to assist. So next slide, please. All right. I'm not the expert on the micro-credentialing program, but I can certainly speak to it. So micro-credentialing is a program that we have at the Institute, and there are lots of industries that also do micro-credentialing programs. For us, it's our HEO non-credit courses that meet the different criteria for micro-credentials. And there's a badging system. It's very skill-based so that you're taking the information that you're learning in the classrooms, in the classes, and directly applying it to the children and families in your programs. There are financial incentives attached to the micro-credentialing and the badging, and also for those of you that need constant in-service, the HEO courses and those courses will count towards that as well. Next, please. So this is an example of one of the micro-credentialing pathways. It's self-regulation. So if you complete all of the courses, so for this particular badge, there are 8 classes that you need to take, and these are the HEO non-credit, and you get financial incentives along the way, as you can see. And then when you complete the entire badge, then there is a much larger incentive of $600. So we are here, and Raquel's team is here to help you to get through the different pathways so that you're meeting the goals of the pathway and then for the badge. Right, next, please. All right, these are the courses that are being offered for the summer term. Registration has begun. There is a combination of courses in English and Spanish, and then we are offering them, this particular slide shows all the face-to-face courses, and then I believe that the next slide is going to show you the courses that are online. So if you have any questions about these, again, reach out to us. People are enrolling, these courses fill up, and we'd love to have you. So next slide, please. All right, so these are the live online, and live online meaning that you actually have a designated date and time that you meet online with your instructor. Again, these are broken down both in English and Spanish based on each individual practitioner's need as far as their language goes. All right, next. All right, so the micro-credentialing pathways that are aligned with the college credit at Palm Beach State College are the Child Care Center Management, the preschool track, the infant toddler track, and also classroom environments. So you'll see the 4 different bulleted areas, and if you complete the courses within those tracks or within a track, then you are eligible to apply for the $600 incentive that goes with the completion of each of each track. So you know, it's a nice little carrot that's hanging there waiting for you to grab, and we really are looking to recognize you for the efforts that you're putting in for your own professional development. So, all right, next. Here's the financial recognition staff credential, and this is done, I'm sorry, for the CDA, which is your ECPC and FCCPC, and these can be done through Palm Beach State College, also a high school early child care program. And once again, anything that gets completed and you're eligible for the financial recognition, it's there for you. Next. All right, so here are the QR codes. I love this little dinosaur guy in the middle. So I know that this is going to be distributed, so by all means, scan these codes, contact us, and we are happy to provide specific information for both you individually and for your programs as a whole. All right, next. All right, so the SEEK scholarship eligibility criteria has not changed. It's still there and it's still going strong. As always, you need to be working 20 hours a week in a licensed childcare program with children birth to 5. This can be a childcare center, a family childcare home, elementary school program that takes VPK, and you need to be in good standing with the SEEK scholarship, and that just means that you have met all the requirements and that you are taking your courses and you're being successful in them. All right, next. All right. So this is my department, which is rather new for the Institute, and I've spoken about it before, but we are a life skills coaching team that evolved out of COVID and out of the need to support the early child care practitioners as frontline providers of services. And we are dedicated, we're trained. I have just hired a new life skills coach. Her name is Shelley, so hopefully you'll be seeing her and hearing from her. And our program is, as I say, to quote from the movie, if you build it, we will come. So if you individually or you or your staff have a need, a topic, or an idea that you would like support with, we are here to support you with that. All right, next slide. We also every month come out with a wellness Wednesday podcasts that Miriam does them in Spanish, and Shelley just did our Mother's Day podcast that's coming out, and it's to the one for May is based on Mother's Day, and it's to support you as mothers or mother figures or all the work that you're doing in your childcare centers. So these topics change every week, every month. And then our marketing person, Raquel, gets all the information blasted out to you all so that you can listen. So the Wellness Wednesday podcasts are really something that you can just plug in your headset and be washing the dishes or taking a walk around your neighborhood. And they're typically between 5 and 10 minutes. And they are just there for you to listen to, hopefully take something away from, and enjoy. There's no homework, there's no participation. You just have to turn on the volume and listen. So we've gotten really good feedback from them. And so we encourage you to continue listening to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Oh, yep.
All right. And so we did have what was called Talk Tuesday that the training department put on, and we would just have this open forum one Tuesday a month. And at the very beginning of Talk Tuesday, we had a lot of participation, and we were there from all the different departments at the Institute. But then we didn't get as much participation. So we came up with the idea of just having, if you have questions, whether it's about advising, whether it's about life coach, whether it's about the micro-credentialing, the scholarship, anything, you can scan these codes. So there's one for English and one for Spanish, and someone will respond and get you to the right person that you will need to have your questions or concerns answered. So this is, the QR code is the new technology, and we are really trying to stay in line with it and hoping that it brings you closer to us with your cares and concerns. All right, next, I think. All right, and of course, the social media, there we are. I would just like to say, I don't know if there's a meeting scheduled for the summer. I believe that you all take the summer off. In that case, this may be my last meeting with you all, as I am retiring in September.
What?
So
You didn't say that.
I wish you all well, and it's been a pleasure, but if you need me, I'm still here until September.
Awesome. Well, we may catch you on the fall then, because we
Okay.
usually try to get one in August. So that one we'll
Oh,
make
okay,
that
perfect.
one.
Okay.
All right, Deb. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
All right, I'm going to leave as I have another meeting to get to, but feel free to reach out and we are happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, take
Congratulations
care.
on.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. We're going to power through our ELC piece. We move on to the next slide. Oop, back one. Oop. Oh, there we go. Hi, Brenda.
Hello, Gina. Hi. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brenda Rivera from the Early Intervention Department. Thank you so much, Gina, for this opportunity. And next slide, please. Well, as part of our ongoing efforts to support children in your programs, we are sending via email a personalized support plan for any child who shows a concern on the screenings. And this plan will include suggested strategies to implement in the classroom, recommended accommodations, and suggested trainings for educators to help support the child within the classroom environment. If you need additional support, you can always request a consultation by calling our warm line number that is right there. Next slide, please. I also want to highlight 3 key ways that the data we are collecting through the ASQ can help improve outcomes for children and families. You will get these PowerPoint slides and you can carefully read all this information, but briefly, it's a great opportunity to get to know your children better. It also allows you to develop a targeted plan that supports effective instruction and creates a nurturing support environment. And it helps strengthen partnerships with families. We want to ensure that you can take full advantage of all the benefits you can receive through this tool. And that's why at the end, I'll share details about our upcoming training for those who are interested. Next slide. Additionally, don't forget about the VP's tool. This is a self-assessment that provides a framework of best practices in early childhood education and helps you create a plan to improve the quality of services, instruction, and support for all children and their families. And you can find this tool in the quality performance system. And finally, mark your calendars on June 18th from 1 to 5 p.m. We will be offering the Florida training on the ASQ3 and ASQ SE2 in person in our location at the Port Center office in Riviera Beach. We highly recommend this training not only for new educators, but also for those who have been in the field for a while. It's always a good opportunity to refresh your understanding of the purpose and the benefits of these tools, and especially to strengthen your strategies for engaging families in the process. That's all of my part. If you have any questions, feel free to send it in the chat below or contact us anytime via the warm line. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Lena, I don't know if we were able to get your updated slides in here. What did we decide to do, Erin?
Dina, this is Ariel. I think I have those slides, so let me go
Oh,
ahead
okay.
and share those.
Okay.
So hang on one second.
While Ariel does that, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lena Galliano. I am with the Early Learning Coalition, and I oversee a wonderful group of technical assistance coaches. So thank you all for making some time out of your busy morning to attend the provider meeting. I really appreciate all of the information. And for those that are on the other side of the screen, please throw us a heart. We know that you're listening. We know that you're present and listening to all this wonderful information. So I am going to keep it brief because I know we are already past the time. So one of the benefits for receiving coaching support is that you will get personalized guidance from your coach, specifically about the needs of your program and your teachers as well. Professional growth development, take advantage of our trainings. We are always offering wonderful, amazing, and very and full of content trainings for all of your teachers and for you directors as well. The other benefit is collaborative learning and access to resources. Once you get in contact with the coach, you will gain access to amount of resources that will help you on a daily basis, not only with managing your program, but also supporting your teachers and your students as well. Next slide, please. Some of the supports that we provide here at the coalition is teacher and director support, VBK, Fast Start Early Literacy support. We also have a group of coaches that specifically provide support for the Age of Learning initiative, and we also have curriculum specialists that provide support, but that provide training, for the creative curriculum and the Frog Street curriculum as well. We have professional development for teachers and directors, class assessment support. This is important. We are intensively coaching programs that are soon to be reassessed and those that are not soon to be reassessed as well. So take advantage of that because this is very, very helpful. It's being demonstrated that coaching coupled with training is very successful for you guys, especially if you guys are going to be reassessed for class. And arranging effective classroom environments. So our coaches also are very knowledgeable in the environment tool. They will go to your centers. They will help you. They will give you ideas on how to organize your classroom so that your children can learn better and effectively. Next slide, please. So here is some information about how, if you want to request technical assistance, if you're not getting coaching right now, please scan the first QR code. That is to request technical assistance support. The second one is to create a web author account so you can attend our amazing trainings. And the last one is the QR code to access our training information. So I love this technology because you can just snap a picture and then you're right there at the link and then you can easily access. So please take a moment to snap a picture and it will take you directly to the link so you can sign up or request support. Next slide, Gina. Thank you. So these are our training opportunities for May and June. So we have a variety of professional development trainings all around class, the class tool, and some of them are in Spanish, or some of them are in English, and we also have in-person trainings and virtual trainings. So access our calendars because spaces are filling up very fast. So we don't want you to stay out of these wonderful professional opportunities. So register soon. Next slide. These are our Frog Street training opportunities. This needed its own slide because we're offering right now 3 different Frog Street trainings. They are going to be face-to-face. So please, if you have teachers that need training on the Frog Street curriculum, please allow them to attend these trainings face-to-face. Let them leave early so they can get to class on time. And I promise you, they will be learning a lot with our amazing trainers. And yeah, just take advantage of these training opportunities. You will not regret it. Next. Our famous CGC is here again. We are going to be offering the infant and toddler CGC starting August the 21st. I had added a QR code in here because our process for CGC is a little bit different than registering for regular trainings here at the coalition. So when you scan the QR code, you will be accessing a page where you will be able to see 2 amazing videos explaining the process of what the teachers or the person that's registering need to do. So it's a process, it's a little bit of a process because it requires a DocuSign from the teacher as a commitment to start and complete the class. So if you have any questions about the CGC, you can reach out to me or Charlene. For those that know Charlene's email address or phone number, we're always here to help you. Next. Registering is very easy. Once you have your web author account, you can access the training classes, click on the class that you want to take, and that's it. Register. Click on the register blue button, and you're in. Next. This is our training calendar again, and our training information for general training information. Please reach out to Darian. She will be able to respond all of the questions about training. Thank you, everyone. And if there are any questions, please let me know. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Lena. Nice to see you.
You too.
I think just the last little bit with the provider services, a couple updates. Thank you for hanging in with us.
Sure, and let me
So-
just pull that other one back up, Gina.
Thanks, Ariel.
Mhm.
I think there might have been 2 slides, community slides before mine. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, if you
Let me
start there, that's fine.
start here.
Then yep, start there. 150. There we go. Right. So this is for our family services team. Just a reminder, I sent something out in March and I'll try and get that out again. But the family services team may bypass the enrollment request option when they enroll students at your site. And that may happen on an initial enrollment or a transfer or a subsequent re-enrollment. So if someone's coming up for redetermination, they would be contacting you to confirm that the child is still there, and then they may do that enrollment on your behalf so that you don't have to. We had a number of incidences where the enrollment request didn't get processed or accepted within those 5 calendar days, and then it kind of got hung up in the system. So once the ELC team does confirm the space, if they accept the enrollment on your behalf, the enrollment would then go over to the family side for them to sign off on their certificate and the terms and conditions. So you want to make sure that you are checking the queue. If you have families in the pending family acceptance, that you follow up with them because you need them to sign that certificate to get their child to show up on your attendance. So if you have any questions with that, we're happy to help. But there are some instances a little bit more frequently you may be seeing where staff are signing on your behalf and not asking you to accept that enrollment via the system if they've confirmed that space with you. Or the parent says, yes, I'm still going there. Okay, next slide. That's us. We'll finish up. Single sign-on system, just a quick recommendation. I know that a lot of our guidance said you can go to provider services, the old link that you used to go to. We are finding that it is working better and you have less instances of errors getting into the provider portal if you start from the FLSSO portal. I know it seems silly because the other one oftentimes will work, but there are times that you may end up getting like an error unloading with the provider portal. So if you can start your process of logging in, believe me, it's a process. We're all in this process together. Start your process from the single sign-on page, click on the hosted, and then log in. It does seem to work a little bit better, and it's a work in progress. We are constantly reporting issues of the timing out is something that they're still working on. The loading of things is still being worked on. So it's a constant communication with DEL to get some of these things fixed. And they do recommend clearing your cache and your cookies from your browser. You don't have to clear your whole history. I know sometimes people are like, oh, I have a lot of things on there that I go back to. That's fine. You don't have to clear your history. But if you clear those cache and cookies, which are things just sort of like tags hanging on your browser, that helps the process as well, especially if we've made a change to your account or given you new access to something that maybe you didn't have before. If you're still not able to get into QPS, I forgot to put that on here. Please give me, send me an email or Yosemite an email. We can get you logged into the QPS system. That was something we manually had to add to everyone's account. So that's still, we may have missed somebody or had an issue with that. So please let me know. And then once you are in, if you need to change your password, like you have that password the system issued and it's crazy and it's not something you remember, or you need to change the multi-factor authentication, the MFA, you can do that from the welcome page by clicking menu. So when you click menu, you're able to manage your MFA settings. You can change it to a phone or an email or change the phone number, usually from that area. And you can do a password reset and set it up to be the password that you would like to use. So please try that. If you have any problems, let us know. And then coming soon, because you as the provider are no longer able to manage your users at your site. And if you have instances where you have people that need to gain access or be taken off of access, we will have an online form, much like the unusual incident form, that you'll be able to submit a request digitally, or you can always reach out to the provider services team and we will help you get that process, that change processed for you. Okay. And we're still adding users. So if you have people that need to access, please let us know. We'll get them in. It doesn't take too long. We'll go to the next slide. I saw a quick message. Yeah, I know it does say that it still logs you out. The system still logs you out. I know it says stay logged in, but it only stays logged in, and it's actually like a time thing. So they're changing that. They're working on that. That is something that what we've brought up because it does it to us too. It just decides whether you're active or not. It just logs you out. So contracts have started for school readiness for the 25-26 school year. There is an update to Rule 6M 4.500, which is our child attendance and reimbursement rule, that students will not be paid prior to their first day or after their student's last day of attendance. We don't have any new updated guidance on that. That's just part of the rule that was passed to go into effect for July 1st. So we are expecting to have some additional information coming from the state on how that will work locally, as well as the holiday changes. So secondly is removing the quality performance. So if you were a provider whose score was between 4.5 and 4.99 and you were getting 4% of QPI, you will no longer be getting that 4% as of July 1st. The starting score to get a QPI payment will be a 5.0. So there's only going to be, as of July 1st, the 7 and 10% for the higher scores. So keep that in mind. And then we did get an additional paid day for reimbursement for school readiness. So now what I've always said, it was 12 holidays, 6 you pick and 6 we pick. It is now 13 holidays, 6 that we pick, which are our major holidays, 6 that you pick as holidays, and 1 day that you can use, elect to use as a staff training day. You will need to indicate when you do your holidays in your contract that that is a staff training day. And we are waiting guidance on any additional information regarding that staff holiday if that's required to be collected. So at this point, you would need to indicate on your contract that it is staff training, professional development, any of those terms are fine. If you want to use that day, if you don't know what that day would be now when you're doing your contract between now and the end of June, we'll always amend your contract and add that in at a future date if you would like to. So we are starting to see the contracts be initiated. You'll get an email when that happens, and then please go to your provider services staff for support, and we'd like to have those back by June 15th. So if you're working with other people at your organization to get those things signed, please keep that date in mind. And next slide, please. I appreciate you staying with me. I'll be able to do this in a couple minutes, I think. We're also doing VPK contracts for 25-26. There was an update to the Rule 6M 8.700, which goes about providers on probation and good cause exemption, as well as the new incomplete status. You can see what your score was for students from 23-24. There is a report out for that. I've emailed it a couple times. It's on the state's website where you're able to see where you fell for students from that year. Students that are with your program right now, 24-25, will be scored, and that score will count. We will have those scores in August, that performance metric, and you will be given a designation. If your designation is below expectations or unsatisfactory, you will be placed on probation and need to do an improvement plan. I don't know how that's going to work yet. I know that there's some forms, and I imagine there might be an online option, but we don't have it. It's coming soon. And then if your designation was incomplete, you will also need to do a technical assistance plan. So again, we're not totally sure on how all the logistics of that'll work. I'm sure we will absolutely do something as we get a little bit closer with what we need people to do. But you do know that you can still start your program in the fall, even if you are then later determined to be a provider that needs an improvement plan. You would have 30 days from the date of the release of the performance metric to get that improvement plan in. I will email out the rule. It is something to take a look at. It's a more comprehensive improvement plan than it was in the past. So keep that in mind. And the team will be working with you to make sure you get your plan in place and meet all the requirements for that. Next slide. Mini grants, anyone that got the CSC scholarship, CSC mini grant from us in February, the expenditure report is in WebAuthor now. You're able to submit that report to us. We are not asking for any receipts at this time. It is merely how you spent the funding that you received. Funding was paid out to you in February at the end of the month or early March, depending on how you get money from us. And so we're just looking for the actual breakdown of how and what categories you spent that money in. That form is in WebAuthor, and the person who submitted the application is the account and email that needs to go in and do the expenditure report. If you need guidance with that or assistance with that, both Ashley and Jalen from my team are able to help you. So please reach out to them and they'll be happy to walk you through that process. And next slide. The Early Childhood Registry is moving. Those of you who have been familiar with the registry in the past is moving to a new website. We introduced this last week. We are looking to have right now leadership at your sites to go in and claim their accounts. The new website is registry.earlylearningpbc.org, and you need to just sign up for an account. If you had an old registry account, we'll be able to merge that data from your previous account. And we're looking for the leaders of your programs to go in and sign up, because once you get signed up, you're able to invite your staff. Your staff can certainly go to the site on their own, but as a leader, you are going to be asked to verify their employment. So you're able to send them a direct email that allows them to register also, and then they'll come back and be on your roster as employees for your site for employment verification. So take a second. This will lead to the next slide in the future, which is coming out quickly. You will have to be part of our registry and be able to go into the CSC Star Award, which we'll talk about. But we're excited to get you set up in the new registry system. The current registry is active still and will be available until September, at the end of September, but we're moving to this new registry system now in anticipation of that one going down. Okay, next slide. And coming soon, the CSC Star Award. So this is our award from CSC for teachers working in the field. There are 4 categories that they'll be able to qualify for a payment. They do need to be working at a current educator that is a school readiness, Head Start, Early Head Start, or Title I funding. They need to be working with children. So these are your teachers that are working at least 30 hours a week and earning $25 an hour or less. This is coming pretty soon. We will have this available for you. It will be available from the actual registry, as well as its own app that staff will be able to download. So look for more information on that as it comes out. All right, next slide. And I froze, but that's fine. You can still hear me. Just a reminder on registration reimbursement, as we come to the end of this contract year, that you will need to submit any children that you may want registration reimbursement for in the provider portal. So you can do that at any time. But just so that you know, if you have children that you did not submit the registration reimbursement for this year, you need to get them in by June 30th. Otherwise, they won't be paid for this year. That's just sort of the process of how it works. And if you have any questions, your reimbursement specialist is happy to help you, or the provider services team can also assist you with that. And next. I'll send this flyer out directly. This is one we got the other day, Bright Smiles, Bright Futures. They're having an event on May 26th at Trinity United Methodist Church, and there's a parental consent release form that needs to be included as well. But if you have families that are interested in the dental health for the young children, please share that with families, and I'll email directly the flyer and the parental form out to everybody. Please share with your families. And next. The ARC let us know of a summer adventure camp that they have available for students that have behavioral or self-help skills that may need additional supports. So please share with parents if you have any students you think may need to or want to participate with the ARC's adventure camp. Again, we do record, so we do post this video on our YouTube channel, and I'll send out all the flyers and supporting documents as well as the link to the YouTube video. And I think finally, the next slide. If you have any topics that you'd like to see presented, Ashley is always available to discuss those topics and reach out to those presenters and get them scheduled. So thank you to Ashley for making this happen for us. She's doing a wonderful job. and absolutely getting our presenters. And I'm so happy she was able to get the ones we had today. So it's really great information. So please feel free to reach out to her if you have anyone you'd like to, you think your peer group would benefit from hearing from. And finally, any questions? Please feel free to reach out to me or throw them in the chat. We'll take care of them. And then the very last slide, I believe, is thank you. Thank you all so much. Provider Appreciation Day is tomorrow. Thank you for all that you do. Happy Mother's Day for those of you that are mothers and fill in for mothers everywhere. We can't thank you enough. We are truly grateful to be partners with you in this work after all of these years. I'm sorry to see Deb retire, but thank you again for everything that you do. And we hope you enjoy your weekend and have a wonderful Mother's Day. And we look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.